Time now to talk business with our partners 2 Degrees. And Hollywood is still coming to terms with the news. Netflix won the bidding for Warner Brothers' Discovery, a summer blockbuster deal worth more than 143 billion Kiwi dollars. Garth Bray from Business Desk joins me with more on that and so much more. So,
hey Nadine.
Good morning to you. If Netflix is going to be the home of everything you want to watch, is anyone going to go to the movies anymore?
That's the fear, right? I guess that's the fear from the traditional industry. You've had Cinemas United in the States, which represents about 30,000 screens, saying, we are going to fight this, we hate this deal, it's going to cut 25% out of their their annual box office if they don't get the same sort of robust push into cinemas first before. I mean, increasingly we're seeing that gap between, when you can catch it on streaming and when you have to go and,
you'll wait 6 weeks and it's on a streaming service.
I mean, I don't know when the last time you went to the movies was. I think it was Jurassic Park Rebirth, or Jurassic World Rebirth for me.
That was definitely not it for me. Tena, which my husband produced, so you'd hope I'd go and see that in the cinema.
You would have got tickets for that.
I would have got tickets for that. And also Pike River, very good.
Yeah, good, great. Well, good excuses to get out and go to the movies, but I guess the numbers are down. In the States, I think in October, they had their worst year of admissions for box office since 1997. I mean, that's the year when we got the Titanic and Men in Black and Good Will Hunting, if you like that. So, there's plenty of, you could say maybe it's the quality of the features that's possibly the problem there. But this is a really big, surprising deal just because of the people that are involved in it. You had Paramount in the form of David Allison, who's, Dad Larry Ellison, one of the richest people on the planet, and great mate of Donald Trump's. I thought he had it in the bag. Some suggestion that there could still be a bit of political interference on this if it goes for regulatory approval.
Well, I was going to ask about that because it creates such a behemoth. Are there competition issues?
Sure, in the US and in the EU as well. But I guess against that, you've got an industry that, against AI, is facing a huge amount of pressure. A lot of creators, a lot of people in the business. It's been a terrible 5 years in Hollywood between the lockdowns, the strikes, and the rest of it. So some people are saying this is just what you need. You need Silicon Valley in there. Apple's been quite aggressively buying up content deals and so on. Maybe it's what's required. A lot of the old timers who are saying, no, this is the death of cinema as we know it, 120 odd years since it was launched. So but the numbers are just staggering. I guess for people thinking about shopping for a house, there was a little bit of advice in there. Apparently, according to the reporting on this, the deal that they put forward to the board that was picked up was fully formed offer. So basically unconditional. There you go. There's everything you need. You can execute on this straight away. There's no sort of loose ends to tie up. And there was quite a big fat break fee in there as well. If we walk away from this deal, Netflix says it's going to pay them something like 10 billion Kiwi dollars, like a $5.8 billion break fee. So I guess make a good offer and make it unconditional.
I was wondering how you were going to get the Hollywood deal to seg into buying a house.
I think it's a stronger market for buyers at the moment, so maybe don't take that advice necessarily. But it's interesting, exactly. Make it a nicely formed deal, right?
Speaking of blockbuster RMA legislation set to drop on lawyers' desks, just in time to take to the beach for some light summer reading?
Pour out a small cup of misery for them, that's going to more tears. So, and a bit like Dune, it's part 1 and part 2, but we're getting them both at the same time. I think we're expecting to see a Planning Act and a Natural Environment Act both drop out. I think there's a lock-up or something around this for the critics, aka the reporters that cover this round extensively tomorrow, and then we'll start to hear what the hot takes on that are. But the problem is the government wants this in front of Parliament before Christmas, gets through the first reading and into select committee stages, so that by the middle of next year they want to hope to pass this through all its stages. That traditionally means you've got about 6 weeks to get your submissions in, so that's cancel summer for all of your resource management lawyers who have to go through the most complicated changes in 35 years.
Or you just don't get that many well-considered submissions because you've dropped it at a time of year where no one wants to look at it.
Yeah, and this is the problem. It's like, do you go fast or do you do a good job? And this has really been the problem that New Zealand's faced with development for years. We tend to go, let's just think of another reason why we should take a bit longer. Interesting, I mean, the fast-track process is still there, and I guess you're going to see that continue. I mean, talking to one minister recently, I got the strong impression they want to keep that running as like a slip lane so that projects can still be pushed ahead, because there are some worries that even after you change the RMA, it would take some time for councils and others to actually embed it and pick it up. So a fast track could be with us for a few years yet. Speaking
of the fast track, would the proposed cable car for Queenstown be a contender for that?
Funny you should mention that. Thomas Manch has been writing on this. Yeah, look, this is a $400 million project that's been proposed by, backed by Rod Drury, the founder of Xero, a keen, I guess a Queenstonian. Do you call them Queenstonians?
I think originally a Hawke's Bay man,
Well,
but yes, these days
he's
he likes
transplanted pretty well.
the playground of Queenstown.
So this is because there's limited ability to move traffic from the airport into what is becoming quite a big city, in Queenstown. And yeah, I think they're talking about something like 10 million vehicles for the first time travelling down there this year. So they're talking about running a cable car up over the mountain and into the town, which you'd think, gosh, it's an area of natural beauty, that's going to be complicated, but this is just one way around it. It's had a bit of support, conditional endorsement from the Infrastructure Commission. Now, this is the kind of government NGO that's in charge of looking at our national infrastructure pipeline. They're about to put that infrastructure plan out, and they've given it, I guess it's been given some sort of support from them or an endorsement that it's worthy of consideration, that it helps solve a problem. So that will help it nudge it along its way. I think the project's currently with Minister Shane Jones for consideration about whether they give it to an expert panel to consider. Would normally be Chris Bishop's job. He's sort of recused himself in case there's a potential conflict of interest. I think Rod Drury might have dropped a few dollars on the National Party at the last election.
I see.
So
Okay.
this is how we do make sure that one hand doesn't be seen to be leaning too hard on the other.
Hey, look, it'd be a spectacular way to get in from the airport. I'll give it that, but it sounds like an expensive project.
No idea what it's going to cost you to catch a fare or whether there'll be a bus at the other end of it. All problems to be solved.
Thank you so much, Garth. Garth Bray, our business desk correspondent. Thanks to our partners at 2 Degrees.